I've tried recording this video several times now with little success. I've tried writing down my thoughts on this little event that happened last Saturday, but unfortunately I cannot express the depth of my annoyance with this with paper and pen. Dave Filoni has taken over as the head of Star Wars Creative, and I am immensely disappointed that people are actually celebrating this fact. The man cannot do it by himself. He's shown that in Ahsoka. And I know some people say, well, that's unfair. The man brought us Clone Wars. No, no. He was one of a team that brought the new Clone Wars. He only took over as the head of Clone Wars for the last season of Clone Wars. Rebels was one of his, but again, on both of those properties that he took over, he wasn't the main showrunner alone. He had a team to help him. And when he's by himself, as we've seen in the Ahsoka series, the man flounders. I can equate this creative funk that Mr. Filoni is, this Champagne Cowboy, to an event similar that happened in professional wrestling. In the 1990s, the World Wrestling Federation, now known as the World Wrestling Entertainment, had a major competitor called World Championship Wrestling, or WCW. Now, WCW had been beating the WWF for 83 weeks, absolutely hammering them in the ratings. This was, in due part, and I will give the man all the credit, Vince Russo. Every bit of credit he deserves, he deserves. He helped WWF overcome WCW's 83-week winning streak. So when WCW's ratings started to go down, they looked to poach some of the creative staff from the World Wrestling Federation. And who did they pick? Vince Russo. Now, Vince Russo touted himself as the man who created Stone Cold Steve Austin, as if such a thing could be ever true. He also calls himself the man who created The Rock. Again, that is not true. But he sold himself as the chosen successor for Vince McMahon. Does that sound familiar to anyone out there? The chosen successor, the chosen one, the hand-picked apprentice. So he went over to WCW, and the company is no longer here. Now, people think, conspiratorially, that he went to WCW to put the final nail in the coffin. Bit unfair. The man did what he could, but he didn't have the tools, the same way that Dave Filoni doesn't have the tools. The man has half thought out ideas and will turn those half thought out ideas into something that is about half as good as anything that anyone else has come up with that's worked for the company. The man's creative genius was to undo all of the character development that Ahsoka Tano went through in Rebels and completely undermine the character and her relationship with her friend who was helping her search for Ezra Bridger. We come back and we see this shattered relationship, and that's where he went from there, because he couldn't do anything new. He had to break something to make something. And eventually you're going to get through diminishing returns, like making a copy of a copy of a copy. Dave Filoni has no original ideas. Now I hear some people go, "Oh, well, he did the Night Sisters." Magic was already a part of Star Wars in the old extended universe. In fact, there's an entire branch of Sith training you go through in Knights of the Old Republic. You can become a Sith Inquisitor, and they specialize in dark side magics. This is not new. He took something old, put his own little spin on it, broke it, put it back together, and then showed us to us, and look, something new. Dathomirian Night Sisters. And I am done pretending that this Champagne Cowboy has any grit or any determination to turn Star Wars around. If my guess is correct, and I believe that it is, the man has gone full ahead and is charging the iceberg. Star Wars' future is bleak because he is going to make it that way. He's not going to listen to anybody else's ideas, as he's shown he doesn't want to. And it's just going to end whatever remaining embers of creativity and storytelling are left within that broken and creatively bankrupt corporation. It is sad, sad day that this fool has taken the top seat, and it's even sadder that people believe that he will attempt to right the ship. He will not. When given the chance, he crushed even his own favorite character to make a story. Star Wars' future is bleak, boys and girls. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. They have no clue. They have so little idea of what they've done wrong that they cannot even begin to properly right the ship, because they cannot take a look at what they've done and say, oh, this is what we've done wrong, this is what we need to fix. They won't do that. They will double down and double down and double down, as they have shown they have a propensity for doing every single time we see a new character. It may not be the end of Star Wars, but it's damn near the end of my even considering any saving grace in this series. Star Wars has 3 fantastic films. It has 3 mediocre films. It's got 3 absolute trash fire films, 1 film that's completely unwatchable, 1 film that undermines one of the first films, and a collection of TV series that one was good and the rest was trash, and cartoons that are at best okay. Star Wars used to be something. Now it was something. And I and you should never forgive them for that. Ever. Every time they come out with something new, always remind them what they've done. They have taken the Venus de Milo and have taken a sledgehammer to its face and taken its head, and are proclaiming to everyone, look, our art is so much better. This is modern art. This is a urinal in the middle of an art museum, and people have to look at it unironically and say, yes, this unused porcelain urinal is art. And I'm afraid I will never do that. So Dave Filoni, congratulations on your promotion. I hope you choke on it. Kathleen Kennedy? Well, what can I say about you that hasn't already been said about the Middle East? A bombed out wreck. Star Wars used to be something. It used to mean something. And just like every other series that has come under the creative control of someone who doesn't care about it, it has been damaged, potentially irrevocably. And no one seems fit to restore it. And no one has a want to restore it. They have deconstructed Star Wars, but they've lost the instructions to build it back. So until they do, Star Wars is just simply done. It's a shame, but the Champagne Cowboy has to take the reins, be everyone's savior. And when he fails, remember this, and I will take great pleasure in saying this: I told you so. And if I'm wrong, you can come back and say, you were wrong. But I have a feeling that I'm absolutely not. And for those of you who are wondering what a champagne cowboy is, a champagne cowboy is a man that dresses like a cowboy, acts like a cowboy, walks like a cowboy, but has as much to do with being a cowboy as a postman has with being President of the United States. That is to say, nothing to do with anything. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you've made it this far in the video. Tell me I'm crazy, tell me I'm anything really, but if you disagree, put it in the comments. Tell me how you disagree. But after this tragedy has happened to Star Wars, and it just seems to keep getting worse, we'll see how everything pans out, but I don't have a positive outlook for the Star Wars franchise. So again, please like, comment, subscribe. If you agree, if you disagree, let me know. And I will catch you guys somewhere down that road.